Oh man, it
Think
was
of all the
funny as
parents that would
shit.
be triggered today if that were to
Oh,
happen.
Oh
God.
yeah, no, it was
Holy,
She'd be
what
great.
are you
fired.
doing? Poisoning my kid?
Yep.
Yeah, man. It was bad. It was rough. But she was Miss Betty Lazarus. She was
We're
I guess
live.
she was Jewish. Okay, I'm gonna stop the story now.
Oh no, you can just remember we're live. We're officially live. So
Oh, we're
hey
live
everybody.
now. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. I didn't see the intro. I would have never told any of those.
Oh, we haven't ran the intro yet. That's why.
Yeah.
We all just started talking. That's all. Hey everybody out there in Indie Volt Land, welcome to a special edition of what do we want to? What is this?
This is it used to
Of
be called
whatever this
Monday
is.
This is the
Funday.
hot
Yeah,
spot
Monday,
special.
Monday Funday, people.
yeah.
We're here to talk comics. We're here to talk situations and virus and all sorts of wonderful things. So we hope you can hang on. So we've got a lot of guests here. We got more coming in, hopefully, here in a little bit, and we're gonna run that intro now so that we can officially start the show. He said as he
You want me to run it? You got it.
scrolls. I'm looking. Let me find it. Let me
Push
find
this
it.
button.
I'll find it.
Yeah.
Push this button. No, not this button. That's
Thank
not
you for
it.
pressing the self-destruct button.
Yeah, that's the self-destruct button. That's the Valiant Offices. That's the breaking news button. It must be lower than that. Let me find
No,
it.
well, depending on which
There
breaking
it
news
is.
button. Yeah.
No, that's the breakfast buzz button. There it
Yeah.
is. I got it. Here we go. Hang on. Plug your ears. Here we go.
Yeah.
They're closing?
Yes, next Tuesday.
Okay, the last thing I want to be when the end of the world comes is sober.
Wonder Woman. Whoops.
Oh, it just doesn't get old.
No.
No, it doesn't. That's why we love them. Anyway,
Hello, everybody out there. My name is Varian Grant. I'm a comic publisher, as long as they allow me to do it.
for as long as the presses roll.
Yeah, I started making books way back in 2008. First book I ever did was a black and white interior action comedy called Psycho Sirens. And that was 8 years ago. Well, no, that was longer than 8 years ago. But I started a company called Last Call Comics, co-founded it 8 years ago. It's been a lot of fun ever since. Co-owned that with Lola, who's on the show tonight. And then I started Indie Volt Media LLC. I'm the sole founder, the sole owner of the greatness. It's all mine. It's mine. If I ever go missing, you just put Lola next to Carol Baskin. I had to put that out there. I had to do that one. Anyway, I am a father, a husband, a geek, a creator, a publisher, reluctant taxpayer, sensitivity reader, and artist. Shamefully not in that order. And this is Indie Vote Live Monday Fun Day. I am joined by Mr. Randy Zimmerman.
Hey, everybody. I'm Randy Zimmerman. I am an alternative and independent comics publisher, creator. I've done just about everything that you can imagine in the market over the last few decades. And I'm also an award-winning commercial and graphic artist. Right now, I have the Zim Geek channel on YouTube, and we do this Indie Volt thing 2, 3, now 4, maybe 5 times a week. So, hey, thanks for listening in.
Next.
Also with us tonight is Rob. Rob, are you there? Rob's coming in. Here we go. Rob, introduce
What's going
yourself.
on, everybody? My name is Mr. Anderson, and I am the owner of every website that there is. You're welcome. So when you're enjoying Pornhub tonight, know that I own it and think of me. And I'm an indie comic book
Very
creator
nice.
who goes underground indie devil. And I advocate for indie creators.
Also with us tonight is Mr. Josh Harris, making his Indie Volt debut. Introduce yourself, Josh.
Feels pretty good. Hey guys, I'm Josh Harris, indie comic creator. Pretty new to the game, but really excited to kind of join in with you guys and learn a little bit more about the comic industry. Made my own comics, 5 years ago now. Worked with Randy. That's where I got my start, and just been cruising ever since, making my own comics over at my website jrcomicart.com, and just plugging away during this wonderful quarantine time.
And you're broadcasting from the wonderful city of Flint, Michigan.
That is right.
Also with us today, all the way from New Orleans, Mr. Anthony Figaro. Anthony, introduce
Mr.
yourself.
Figaro. Yes, sir.
Mr.
My name is Anthony. My name is Anthony Figaro.
Mr. Figaro.
I am Mr. Figaro. Right, that's my daddy. Yeah, I'm the creator of God's Hand. You can see that it's in demand right now on Indiegogo. You can also reach out to me at kiddestructor.com. I've been creating comic books for the past 15 years, and I'm here tonight to hosted by these gentlemen on here, and I'm here to report what's. I know Eric's looking around like who?
Who came in?
I'm just.
Yeah.
I'm here to report on what's going on down in New Orleans.
We're also joined by the dreaded dinosaur, Mr. Eric
How's-
Hodson.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, watching wherever you are at? Yeah, my name is Eric Hodson, creator of the Dreaded Dinosaur Man on Webtoon. So get over there and do some subscribing. And you can find me everywhere at Dreaded Dinosaur on all those social medias. Been doing the indie comic book thing since 2005. That was back before computers.
Someone's gonna believe that, you know.
I know, that's why I said it.
Nobody's gonna believe it.
I'll get it. Well.
Way back when. Yeah,
Randy
variant.
sent out this message and said everyone needs to get on. So here I am. Yeah. Interrupting my very important viewing of Tiger King.
Oh yeah,
I'm
pry
kidding.
yourself away from the Netflix for a minute. And let's try to talk to people and see what's happening. We are open on Indie Volt Radio. How can they contact us?
They can do so by emailing me at indievoltlive@indievolt.com. You can put Indie Volt Radio in the subject field, as well as if you're listening on Indie Volt Radio and you're listening to the website, you can go in there. You know, there's a little form there you can push and add questions in and send them to us, and I'll get those questions. I'll get a message over in the right-hand corner. Tell me I got messages to read from you guys, wherever you're listening from right now, which in the lead right now, hold on.
You're looking at it funny.
3,300 of you are listening in. We appreciate that. Hello, Canada. Hello, Germany. Hello, France.
Canada.
Yeah.
Hello, Germany.
Dos Vidania. Is Russia here?
Russia is here, but they're way down. I don't have numbers yet.
They're here, but they don't want to, make a big deal.
They're right below Mexico right now.
Oh, they're here. All right.
Russia's below Mexico. Mexicans and Canadians have both strengthened their borders. They're going to keep us out now. Tables have turned.
Mhm.
Trump's plan's working.
A little
The
too
joke's
well.
on them.
Hello,
We
yeah.
didn't build it well enough to keep us out.
Yeah. There you go.
So I thought of I was forced to go outside the house today.
I'm sorry.
It's first of all, people are not obeying social distancing at all.
I've been to where you live. I know why.
I was at Walmart and it was horrible. People are not obeying, and I'm in line, and they got little squares on the floor, and they're like, "Stand here."
Yeah.
And people are not standing there, so I'm gonna mule kick the next person that's behind me right in the dick. I swear, I'm gonna mule kick the next person. I mean, there's this guy. He's sweating. He's looking for video games. He can't find them. He's cussing, and he's like all up on me. And I really want to just.
And he's going through withdrawal. I gotta have that video game.
Jesus.
Please, the GameStops have been shut down. Oh my God, where am I gonna get my fix?
I want to kick him right in his gonads.
Surprised he didn't.
No. I'm like, the cops will still come.
Got to keep a level of civility in trying times.
Yeah, they're not obeying. And then
Any other time in Walmart, no holds barred.
any other time would be fine. Any other time.
Did you have your mask on, Varian?
Yeah, I had a mask on. I had
What you do is get you. I'll tell you what'll get people wearing masks and social distances. Just pop somebody with a little mace. Just pop them. Just don't let them see you hit them with it. Pow!
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People, it's going airborne. Put your mask on. It's burning my throat.
It burns. It must be the COVID.
It's
No.
the corona, man. You got that corona
Must be the
21,
corona.
motherfucker. God.
Corona
Oh,
21.
we just lost Eric for a minute. I'm sure he's.
Yeah, his internet has been really bad, but he's getting new internet
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Our internet's been flaky in general. Anyway,
Yeah. So yeah, of course we're
just as Rebel Comics said, shout out to Eric. Sorry.
yeah,
couldn't see
yeah.
that.
Shout out to Eric. Yeah, that was what it was. Shout out to Eric, and then he just dropped.
Ralph Griffiths in the house is meeting people, fans, and selling art. It's life's blood for most indie creators. No cons. It's gotta hurt a bit in the wallet.
You know, it does. It does hurt in the wallet a bit, but you know, I'm using all this opportunity I got to not have to hit the road, not have to worry about cons, to just get at that drawing table and, you know, be able to crank out some more stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, what do we always complain about? Man, if I had more time.
That's
now
right.
we got a lot of time, you know.
Especially when you get to be my age.
Yeah, you know, you don't have much time left.
Don't have enough time at all. Yeah.
I
got a bucket list that has holes in it.
yeah, there's a hole in the bucket. There lies a
Hole
lot.
in my bucket list all over.
I always thought there was. When I first heard that song, I immediately knew there was an adult version, and I am disappointed that it's not. You know, there's a hole in the bucket. Liza. There's a.
Other than I don't know what to tell you. Other than to tell
Hog-legging it up, bro.
all of our listeners
Hog-legging it
that
up.
we are TVMA DLSV,
There should be a hole in the bucket.
where the V stands for virus.
After the show, Varian, I'll tell you my Christian joke.
He's got
Okay.
his hole in the bucket joke.
You know, it's good, but it kind of, if you really want to get some hate shit, we'll tell the shit on the air, but it's like I'll wait until after.
Are you guys finding that you're any more creative in this new environment that we live in now?
More creative than how I pay my bills.
Yeah,
There you go.
There you go.
He is right.
Yep.
Goes
away
beyond
from the
artboard.
paper, yeah.
I'd have to say that I'm a lot more focused on what's going on what I'm doing. I've gotten a tremendous amount of work done in the Piper book. I'm hopefully be wrapping that up this week.
Good to hear.
And getting started on my Dreaded Dinosaur Man comic and start updating the webtoon next month as well.
Cool.
So my plan is to up until the launch of the book and get people caught up to a point where I want them to be.
Cool.
There you go.
I see that Superman spit curl just fell on your head. Oh my God, Eric is Superman.
Yeah, my hair is growing out and I can't stand this. It's like, oh, because I usually get
This
the
is weird
shave
hat.
on the side and the mohawk, and now this is getting no.
It's getting sexy.
Well, you're gonna have to wait
He's
until
the-
all this passes because barbers and haircutters are non-essential.
I look like Sasquatch walking in.
No, you're gonna look
that's
like
my
that
God.
guy Variant said you look like last night. You're gonna start looking more and more like him. Is that hair's growing out, bro?
Yeah.
What was his name, Variant?
How was that? Is it Jerry DeClaire? Is that his name?
Jerry DeClaire.
I don't
The,
know.
the comic artist. Did people in
Jerry DeCare.
DeCare.
It's a guy he made up, you know.
No. He's gonna be at Randy's show. Randy can afford.
He's kind of got the hair over to the side like Jerry does, but
Yeah, they look alike. All y'all look alike.
Only to you.
All of you guys look alike.
I hear you, Variant. I hear you, bro. I hear you.
I was gonna say that, but anyway,
Hey, Barry,
that would have come off as racist.
Yeah.
as my sensitivity editor, how do I ask how culture that's not white is dealing with no haircuts right now?
Oh man, let me tell you right now. The black community. I checked in this afternoon. You know, it's hard, man. It's a struggle right now. There's
Variant's
a lot of
lying to
ways.
you. He's lying. He's lying to you right now.
A lot of
Lying
ways to get
trust me.
messed up. A lot of ways to get messed up.
Nah,
But I'll tell you
man.
this. Let me tell you this too. Black people are like, when it comes to getting your haircut, we are like, you remember Jurassic Park Metro Find a Way? We will find a way. I'm seeing brothers with
Oh
fresh
yeah,
cuts out there, and I'm like,
right,
where did you?
right,
I know a
right.
tattoo shop that's behind. It's in the back of a barber shop off of 8 Mile Road. I swear to God. And so they will find a way to get that done. Trust me, there's somebody out here right now slinging haircuts. Hey man, I got you, dog. $20, I'll line you up real quick.
I'm telling you, bro. You got to go to
So
jail a
very
couple
disappointed.
times. When you get in jail, you see what they do is they take their razors and they take the razor blades out. But look, that's how them boys look fresh up in jail, bro. There ain't no barbers up there. Ain't no barber shops in there. If you on a
There-
visitation, they'd be like, "Damn, bro, you looking fresher than me. Why you got a cut like that, bro?"
I went to a barber shop about a mile from my home, and I live in a pretty white community. I went over there, and it's a barber shop where they have all female barbers, and they're all kind of scantily dressed. And I walked in, I'm like, hey,
That ain't called a strip club.
no, I'm like, well, I walked in, I'm looking around, I'm like, and I see, and by the way, the wife's in the car, and she's like, mm-hmm. I'm like, look, I'm gonna get my hair cut. And I walk in and the ladies, I'm like, hey, you to the barber shop, and I don't know how to ask this. I'm like, I got a question, dumb question. Do you have a barber on staff that can cut hair like mine? And she's like, you mean curly? I looked at her. I lost my complete smile. I was like, you know what I mean? And she's like, yeah, we can definitely do it. It's not a problem. And then I'm like, okay. And then it was funny because I could, the wife refused to come in. She refused to come in the barber shop, and she sat in the car, but I could feel her eyes watching me the entire time because, these girls are like wearing low cut shirts and they're leaning all on you. And I'm like, I've been came here a long time ago.
That's why.
So it was wicked awesome, right?
Oh,
Wicked
it's
awesome.
wicked awesome. It was.
I think they call those salons.
I've been missing out. I should have been going to salons a long time ago. I would have went to. Matter of fact, I think a salon is what we need in some of the communities. I'm gonna go into some. I'm gonna go into some communities and open up some salons as well. Because I got
to sample the merchandise. Make sure y'all can actually cut hair now.
Yeah. I had my hair cut by a guy named Mr. Hawk, who owned a barbershop around the corner from my house growing up, and he was a preacher. And I don't understand this. He had a sign that said, "If your language is foul, take it home." Yet, if ESPN was playing in the corner, everybody in there was using every piece of language they possibly could. I don't understand, and it was horrible. Plus, he didn't let you read violent books in his store too. It was weird. And it's barbershop. It was weird. I had Mortal Kombat comic. He told me to put that filth up. Oh well. Anyway, Josh, it's your first time on the show. So, Randy, did you run the clip?
What?
Is Josh?
Oh no, I didn't run the clip.
Oh, here we go.
Welcome to the party, pal.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Well, thank you guys. I appreciate that.
Surprised he's not trembling in fear after the last 2 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
I have been
You
enjoying
can
it.
take it. I've known Josh for a little while.
Yeah, no, I've Randy and I have had some crazy conversations, so this is nothing.
Yeah. It's sometimes Randy will message me in the middle of the night, and he'll message
That's
me.
not me.
I'll message
What are you
him.
wearing?
Oh, that's not him.
Yeah,
Oops.
you'll usually message me.
Yeah, I'll usually message him, and then
3 in the
sometimes I
morning.
have-
Bing, bing, bing,
Who
bing.
the heck is messaging me?
I think sometimes we wonder if the others have been drinking, though. Depending on the conversation we have. Yeah. So, Josh, tell us a bit about your book.
Well, the current one that I'm working on, actually, as we speak, is it's called Astronaut High Schooler, and
He
it's
said
ridiculous.
sitting way in front of his board.
Yeah, like way over there.
I'm working on the book right now.
Yeah, no, I'm throwing down some digital coloring on there, but it's wacky, it's weird. It's like, you take the vibe of some of the crazy animes out there, like the real ridiculous ones, and then throw in some Deadpool. And I mean, you got a high schooler who wears just this big helmet, and she uses a baseball bat, and she can destroy big space pirate ships with the baseball bat. It's fun, it's ridiculous, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's the first one I've ever done that's not serious, so it's been a challenge for me to kind of loosen up a little and get a little wacky with it.
Yeah.
What's the title?
Astronaut High Schooler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it an anime manga style or?
It is in American comic style, but I am kind of, drizzling in a little bit of the Japanese, manga style in there with their screen tones and whatnot.
Cool.
So it's kind of a fun little combination of American and Japanese styles, which is definitely what I've grown up on was, heavy American comics with heavy anime, and that's what you get.
Cool.
And a little bit of ridiculousness of like the Dragon Ball Z, like blowing up the moon and being able to just wield ridiculous powers and stuff like that. It's very anime, but with that American comics hero aesthetic.
I dig.
Chuck says, "Hey," Joe Cotton says, "Smoking."
Hey, Chuck.
And Katrina says, "Hi, Chuck." And they're talking to each other in the chat room. Absolutely unacceptable. I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Pre or post Corona timeline. Yeah, that was a question I was going to ask you guys. Do you guys does comics have to reference this, or should they just not mention it? When the towers fell, it was mentioned. So should we mention this in comics?
I'm sure it'll get referenced.
Appropriate.
It all depends on the property.
People.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. It's pretty on par. World War II, Vietnam, and I mean, this is a worldwide pandemic. I don't see how you don't acknowledge it in some way, shape, or form.
I'm a Corona baby. I was.
We were talking about that earlier.
Yeah,
it's going to be a baby boomer thing.
Yep, there's going to be some Corona babies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, will they call them Corona babies, or will they call them limeys, or what?
Generation C.
Kung flu babies.
Of course, yeah.
I don't think that will fly, but
No, come on.
Wong flu babies.
We'll be you're one of them kung flu
babies.
kids.
I thought it was weird when they kept
Kung
saying they
flu
were going to
babies.
do like when people. I'm shocked because people, the names of this illness.
What you mean?
are
What
surprising.
you mean?
Everybody has different names for it. I mean, I've heard some really effed up names that I knew from the start were like not right, and then I'm hearing other names, and I'm like, is there something else out there I need to worry about? Is that a new one? Did they drop a new like this virus is changing names like Diddy? I don't know, like I don't know what to do anymore. I'm
The
kind
Well,
virus
initially-
formerly
I mean,
known as Corona.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's initially was, I mean, it was the Wuhan virus, which again was named after all the. I mean, that's from what I understand. You got German measles, you got Spanish flu. Was it MERS, which is Middle East Respiratory Syndrome? West Nile, Ebola. Like it's always kind of that's on par because you have multiple strains of the coronavirus. It's multiple strains. This strain originates in Wuhan, so it's like it's the Wuhan virus or Wuhan corona, and so it's this weird thing where and then it was this. It's because that's the problem is and then it shifted because all of a sudden now it's racist to say that, and you're like, why? This is one of those things we're talking about in the back room where it's like it's a double standard thing. It's like, what do you mean? We're just doing what we've always done. We're calling it from the region that it comes from. So why are we making this into something that it's not? And then why are people going along with it instead of going, shut up, man? No, this is what we do. This has nothing to do with racism or anything like that. And so now you have all this bullshit where you have all these different names where people are scared to call it what it is. And it's like, well, it's like, okay, we're in this place again.
I refuse to call it the Wu flu. I just won't.
You don't have to call it that. Yeah, you have to call it that. Call it whatever you want.
I've been on board with kung flu ever since I heard that. I was like, yes, that's what it is.
Did you hear the Hong Kong fluey? Did you hear that one?
Nice.
I recall when I first moved my second apartment, which they were new buildings. I was on a review site and I wrote my review, and then I seen 2 negative star reviews. So I thought, what the hell? Stop watching Fox News. I when I said, well, what are the negative reviews on here? So I decided to check, and it said guy said, yeah, it's a really nice community. I love my apartment. Little black mold growing in, but I need to get rid of it. And I'm like, well, these buildings are new. And then I found out what black mold means. There's black mold, but there's also black mold, and it's me. So whenever there's black mold in the community, yeah, I'm putting the word out there. We I'm disseminating information. If you see this,
that's a new one. Yeah, that's a new one to me.
Yeah. I didn't know until the guy told me. So
Black mold. That's
black
pretty
mold.
sneaky.
Yeah.
It reminds me of that meme with what is it, Will Ferrell, where he's talking about the pants and stuff like that. He's like, you pretty sneaky white people.
Yeah.
Black mold. I never would have put that there. I just would have put. I was like, oh, what they got mold? People are dying. It's like wrong, wrong. That's not what you're talking about.
And apparently,
Never got.
apparently, when someone says I hate Mondays, it's black people.
What? Get out of here! You telling me Garfield's racist, brother? I ain't buying this shit. No way, bro.
Some things are just too much of a stretch, buddy.
Yeah, no, you can look that shit up. I wish I was lying. Chuck has been.
I never heard that. I ain't never heard that. What is this?
Chuck has been at Rob's table and didn't get COVID-19 or spanked. Yeah, that's true. Chuck has been there. So, Randy, did you
Yes, sir.
How far are you down? First of all, you are your wife and you are stuck at home now.
Yes. Yeah, her last day is probably tomorrow until the virus is over. So even though she worked at a medical lab, they're putting one person in each department and letting everybody else sit it out. So she's gonna sit it out. But luckily, we're just up the street from where she works, so she'll be one of the first ones called back in.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, it's like, well, we're not going anywhere. Really, all we need is money for bills and food. So
for us, it was we've been here for like 3 weeks. It's locked in. I'm getting tired of these people. I want to run. How about you, Eric? Is it tough being locked in? Or?
No, not really. I've always been kind of an isolationist at heart.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice having the wife around a little bit more often than not because her gym's closed. So that's her usual evening. They've got her on a 4-day work week. She works for a major insurance company here in the metropolitan area. So she's doing 4 days on, 10-hour work days now. And they just gave her a memo that she's going to be getting paid time and a half. So,
oh, good.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's through April 30th.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
So
That means more work.
There.
That means more work.
Yeah. Her time, the half part of her time and a half is going to make up for the minimum that I would bring in for shows. So at least for the next month, we're going to be okay.
That's good, man.
I don't know if I've been doing it wrong, but I'm not freaking out. Like everything's okay. I mean, other than I'm here with this 9-year-old man. He's a brat. Other than that, how about you, Anthony? How was it down there?
We were talking about this in the pre-show, and and I'm going to repeat this, and unfortunately, Randy and Rob and Josh are going to have to hear it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's we were talking about how I didn't realize. Randy asked me when I thought about it. I had to think, and I'm like, I don't know, man. It doesn't bother me, and I thought maybe it had something to do with Katrina. I stayed for Katrina. I was here for Katrina. And what I was telling these guys is the thing about Katrina is that it's extremely, it's visceral. It's in your face. You know what I mean? Like there's no power, there's no food, there's no wall. You know what I mean? Like it's there. So the danger is really very real. In this case, because the danger, like you're at home with all your creature comforts, and it's like you don't realize the danger, which makes it almost more dangerous because you don't see it. You can't see it. It's, you know what I mean? You can get lured into this, well, everything's okay, and this, that, and the other. So I think for me, it's probably like that for everybody. Without seeing it like that, it makes it harder to be prudent about. And if you've gone through things where it's been right in your face, it also gives you this false sense of like, well, it's not Katrina, you know what I'm saying? Situation. So it's just one of those things where I'm trying to um, be prudent about things, even though and be cautious about things, even though I can't see the things which are trying to kill me.
Hmm. I
Other
can
than
see.
that, it's we say LG. Um, at some point, you just have to kind of let go and let God. Whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, I got desperate today, and I'm looking at the supplies, and I'm like, okay, maybe a quick run won't hurt. Fully mask up, out in the streets. I got out, and I got back as quickly as I could. Almost considered. I got so down, guys. I almost bought WWE 2K20. Almost.
Woohoo. You're getting really desperate, man.
Yeah, it was down to $20, and I'm like,
Still
yeah,
not worth it.
yeah, still not worth it. Rob, no, for us, to me, like, it's weird because there's so many things that make this disease real. I had a friend of mine, his mother's longtime boyfriend passed away, and oh, is Rob a different? Okay, um, and passed away, and the guy's been in his life since he was younger, and so when that happened, and I met the guy a couple times myself, that had made me think, like that hit home and that hurt. And then, so many other people that I know, I met some other people that have, you know, uh, are having issues with, coronavirus. And then, uh, there's this little small things that happen, like, um, for instance, when they had the Super Bowl here in Michigan, in Detroit. I lived in Detroit at that time, and going downtown, seeing all the lights flashing, and they had finally turned all the lights on the top of I forget which building it was. Chrysler. This is Chrysler. I forget no, it's not the Chrysler building. I know the General Motors building or the Renaissance Center was lit completely up, and a couple other things they had done. The city made it like it made it real. Like, hey, it's actually here. And now we got news today that Motor City Comic Con postponed, which is a con that I've done every year since I've been doing comics. And
You
for
knew about
them,
that, right, Josh?
I assumed it was going to happen. I didn't realize it. They announced
yeah,
it.
they officially announced this afternoon. Yeah.
Okay.
it was like, oh man, that's like,
That's big.
yeah, that was big. That was big.
It's
And
a really big. It's the biggest show around here.
Yeah.
It's one of the best
Three-
true
three-day
comic
shows.
book cons that's around still in the country.
yeah, when they took that away, I'm like, and they just postponed it. It's not gone.
Yeah,
It's not
gone.
canceled.
It's gone for the year.
You think it's gone for the year?
No, I thought they've already said that it was gone for the year.
They said
It's
they
a
were searching
big-
for later dates. They
It's
haven't.
a big boat. I sincerely doubt that they're going to reschedule. They're just going to pull it back until next May.
Yeah.
I got
What?
their statement here. I'm more than happy to read it.
Okay. Well, we kept Anthony kept mentioning the name. He kept mentioning it. So you summoned the embodiment of Hurricane Katrina. You summoned the actual.
I've been summoned.
You've been summoned?
That's what he said.
Oh, he stepped out. So yeah. Hey, Katrina, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, Randy?
Real good.
Hey, Katrina.
Good.
Hey guys.
How's it going?
Hello.
It's going, hanging out here at the house.
I was pulling up the official announcement. Thank you all for your patience the last few weeks while we work to navigate through the COVID-19 pandemic and plan for the future with COVID-19 continuing to progress. Hang on here. I can just pull this up and share screen, actually. Just a second here, and I will get that.
Randy not sharing the screen is really, really, really weird.
There
It's
you
really
go.
weird.
Thank you for your patience. Safety and all. of all humans is our number one concern, and therefore, having the Motor City Comic Con in May is just not an option. We've been working with the Suburban Collection Showplace and the hotels as well, the many moving parts that go into producing the show to determine new dates for later this year. We will continue to keep you posted on the new plan, but in the meantime, here's what you need to know. We're done. No, attendees. We understand this is hard for everyone. I'm going to try to cut through the minutia here. To all the attendees, have pre-purchased the 2020 admission items either through us and or through our partner Celebrity Pro Ops, Photo Ops. You can expect a full refund within 7 to 10 business days. Items include admission, VIP, fan passes, autographs, photo ops, and wristband shipping. We ask that you remain patient and kind as we work to get the refunds to you as soon as possible. Artists and vendors, same story. Refunds to those of you who purchased space for 2020 show. As we know, the lack of shows has hit you all pretty hard. Once we've determined new dates, we will have all adopted to our new normal. We will give you the opportunity to purchase your space back before opening registration to new vendors and artists. Please know that while we understand this is necessary, it also is heartbreaking for us. For over 30 years, we have put our heart and soul into creating a special place where people from all over and with different backgrounds are welcome. We are honored to invite all of you to celebrate your fandoms and passions together. We love what we do, uniting people, and we have that. And to have that compromised, well, it's been tough for all of us. But we're hopeful and we're strong that we're not going anywhere. Oh, and we're not going anywhere. Superheroes never lose the fight. We observe, we adapt, persevere, and overcome. Motor City Comic Con 2020 will be postponed for a later date, and we will prevail. Until then, protect yourself and your loved ones. Follow the government and social distancing and shut-in guidelines so we can kick COVID's ass and get back to our beloved con life. Peace and love to all of you, Michael Goldman, Miriam, and the Motor City Comic Con family. Yeah.
Did it mention if anyone's hand got hurt from patting themselves on the back too hard? I'm just curious.
Well, you know, heroes always persevere.
I know, they're heroes putting on a show.
I would be surprised if they reschedule for later this year, because everybody else is already rescheduling for later this year, and it's going to be really rough to find an open weekend where nobody has a convention going on. So we'll just have to wait and see how Motor City does. So,
yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they pushed it to, just like you said, to next year.
It's a big boat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's really hard to steer that puppy, and yeah. Plus, the suburban marketplace, even tomorrow, could suddenly become a hospital. So,
exactly.
So I'm not sure when they're going to reschedule. When they do, we'll announce it here too.
When were they scheduled to go?
The May second week of May.
17th to 19th.
Yeah.
If I were them, I
weekend of May.
rolled the dice. I would have rolled the dice, kept it going, see if they could put on a show.
There's no way they're going to make that.
It wouldn't happen.
Not with
That's
what's
just
going
not
on in
gonna work.
Michigan right now.
Yeah.
Especially that's like Detroit area. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the heaviest area hit right now.
Especially right now, because Detroit seems to be blowing up really hard in cases and deaths. So, though it's all a matter of getting those test kits available. So they put a lot of those test kits down there in Detroit, so they were able to test more people earlier.
That's true.
It's going to end up going all the way across the state. So that's the test numbers are a little deceptive, because they've been trying to get more test kits out for the last couple of weeks. So they're just now being able to step up production. So you're going to see the test numbers jump anyway.
Yep.
It's the deaths that are really the most important thing, I think.
Right.
That's what we need to focus on.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because I don't think they're ever really going to have a solid count as to how many people catch this thing.
No,
No,
they're
not-
not trying
not
to.
enough.
Deaths are a whole nother matter,
In
obviously.
Florida, they're not even testing anyone who's not in 3 categories of danger.
That's what they were doing up here until just a day or so ago, because they didn't have enough tests. You had to check all of the boxes. Varian was saying that Krista went to the hospital and wanted to get tested, and they wouldn't do it because she didn't hit all the criteria. So,
They're trying to conserve as much as they can.
well, yeah, they have a real hard time with the agent, the curing agent. I think it is. They're not able to get that around fast enough. The test is pretty rough anyway because it's a swab all the way to the back of the nose. So almost to the back of the throat. So they have a real long swab that goes in through the nostril.
Oh,
Then they have to take a sample.
It sucks. Let me tell you, I'd have it for pneumonia.
Oh yeah. Oof.
So, Randy,
Varian says, listen to those pregnant pauses. Where are those?
Randy,
Stupid.
Yeah, go ahead, Rob.
Dynamite has just pulled and said they're not doing anything without Diamond, and they're not going to be releasing anything digitally. So they're another company, I guess, that pencils are down now.
Yeah,
Even
pencils
though they're-
down. Yeah.
Even though they're not saying it, what are you going to do if you're not putting any books out? You're just going to let them pile up?
Actually, they're probably really looking at is saving a lot of money the next couple of months.
That's exactly right.
With
They'll
yeah.
put nothing out. They'll put nothing out. They won't pay anything out because they have nothing coming in. And what they'll do is when it looks like it may bump back, they'll just put everything back and just act like it was just a hiccup. And because a lot of comic shops are closed. There's nothing hitting anyways. So it's like that's how that. I would assume that's what they're going to do.
And that's especially disturbing because what they're doing is discouraging the talent.
Yep.
And they're not keeping their heads above water. They should be really concerned, especially if they have talent working for them that they want to preserve and keep. That talent's not going to run out and do something else, find another deal.
And DC is walking back their promise to release digital, as they're now limiting what books they're actually going to be releasing digitally.
I think a lot of that was retailer pressure too.
Yeah.
Don't they have a new deal forming with Random House, was it, or Penguin Press?
No, I think Random House Penguin said, "Hey, if you need comics distributed, we're here, buddy."
Yeah, they open their
We'll
doors
do it for you.
in indie.
Yeah.
They're at telling people if they want to actually submit, come submit. And if they have a fully done book, they'll think about distributing it.
Yeah.
So,
what's the harm? They
It'll
already
be
have
interesting.
The distribution
It'll be
network
interesting.
already figured up. The big problem is a lot of these companies, and I'm not sure how that contract works with Diamond anymore, but originally they had to sign exclusive deals with Diamond and say that they weren't going to look for another distributor no matter what. Diamond was their guy. But I'm sure they're looking at Diamond shutting down as a way of literally canceling those contracts. So it's every man for themselves.
and remember, this is
Or
not
every
affecting,
company for themselves.
and this is not affecting every state the same way. That's enough of a legal loophole to break contracts.
Yep.
To say, well, you made us abandon all of our fans in Nebraska where it wasn't happening very badly.
Yeah.
So that could be a way to break out of their contract. And if DC does it, Marvel will be right behind them.
Yeah. And other disasters, people can still gather and lean on each other, not so much. Ralph says, on the plus side, I've been hosting some great Facebook watch parties with lots of old Godzilla and 50s monster movies. That's cool.
Sweet.
But aren't we leaning on each other right now with all these online Facebook meetings that we've been having?
I know this is going to shock everybody when I agree with Rob on something, because I keep hearing how we're utter enemies. But yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. Is we may not be able to physically gather together, but I think we are still gathering together, and we're doing, leaning on each other and doing. I've seen some pretty awesome things coming.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yet, on the other hand, there's been some pretty bad drunken podcasts done, not by us, or not on Indie Volt, but I've seen some pretty cringy things.
Yeah, Randy, it's because Varian came drunk to my show, but I like drunk Varian, so he can come anytime.
Yeah.
It was a good show. I was getting him to say some things.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. Not good for Varian, at least. So
Oh, that's good shit.
I get surly too. He tries to trigger me all the time. So, says, "Don't lean on me." Social distancing. Very insensitive. And the other term is societal cheating. Societal cheating.
Societal cheating.
I've heard that one.
I caught that on one of the news shows.
Oh, boy.
They're using that for the people that don't listen to the social distancing.
Ugh.
Rebel Comics asked, "There are comic shops?
What's funny though for us,
What are these mythical places?"
for us geeks and nerds, we've been told to social distance our whole life by other people.
Yeah.
So
Well, for
other
me,
people
it's
are
just
catching
another work day, but suddenly my wife's home. So
it. That's essentially, yeah.
Yeah, that's me. Except for with me, it's my college kid.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Yeah, and my grocery bill has gone to the roof all of a sudden.
Yeah, there's this little kid who hangs out with me a lot now. He looks like my son, but I mean, he's really annoying now.
Suddenly, poof. Where did you come from? Yeah. So what else?
Oh my God. A
What's
pregnant
going on?
pause.
A pregnant pause.
It's like Jerry Springer. It can't be on. I'm
You
back.
You just kicked Rob off?
I just put Rob backstage for a second. I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
Wasn't that pregnant?
Oh my goodness. Yes, it was. It was an infirmary of pregnant pauses.
Oh,
no.
we're nowhere near 9
I
months.
could hear the Lamaze. You
You're
can hear me. Deliver those babies.
Well, it's all Josh's fault. This is his first podcast.
It happens, you know.
Oh,
I get
yeah.
bothered and I'm just like,
Josh.
It seems
what
tense.
do I do?
I do have questions.
What do I do? What can I do? You have questions? What's
yeah.
our number right now on Indie Volt Radio?
The number on Indie Volt Radio right now is 7,262. And so I'm happy with that.
We
Hello,
appreciate
Germany.
each and every one of you.
Hello, Germany,
Thank
France,
you.
Italy, and our good friends in Paraguay again.
Paraguay. Oh, nice.
Paraguay. We
I love
wish
those
you only
guys.
the best of health out there.
I do want to say this too, before I, put Rob back in. I want to know, what are you guys' plans? And this came from Indie Volt Radio, so it's not for me. What are you guys' plans when everything returns back to normal? And are you expecting things to return back to normal and go? Well, for me, actually, I'm expecting things to return back to normal. I'm thinking 2021 is when things are going to kind of start to settle. I'm thinking March, April of 2021, things are going to start to settle again. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I honestly don't. It's going to depend on what normal is, because I think really there's going to be a lot of cultural shift because of this.
Yeah.
And I said shift, not shit, but there'll be a lot of that too. What's like social distancing, just taking that. What is the first Comic-Con going to be like after we're allowed to have them again?
Yep.
I think it's going to be a brave new world scenario. We really don't know what to prepare for.
Yeah.
I'll support that. I'll piggyback off that. That's I'm never really good on the prediction thing. I'm an observer and just watching this, it's like you don't know. I mean, you don't know. The wind is still high, so you have no clue where this can go, and you don't know what the fallout is going to be. So you don't. So it's hard. It's hard to speculate on what opportunity will be there once this starts to shift down. How this affects things, how this affects content, how this affects Marvel, DC, how this affects distribution, like all this stuff plays, man. This all plays because you don't know what opportunities arise. We were talking about that. It's like opportunities may arise to where, you know what? I think me and Eric were talking about this a few shows ago that, you may be able to now get the market may shift in a way where you can now make books and make money, so much money off of books that conventions become, maybe I can make one or two. I don't need to make them anymore. And all of a sudden it just shifts the whole landscape where the money shifts, the opportunity shifts, how we make it, how we interact with fans, because this has pushed a lot of people to have to communicate I know Zoom is big right now, where people are communicating through Zoom and all different things like that. So the communication is changing. The commerce may change as well, and just watching it to see where that goes. It'll be interesting. You know, this next month, 2 months is going to be interesting to see where the winds start to shift. It's still early.
Yeah. Yep. I also think it's very interesting that a lot of the crowdfunding campaigns don't seem to be very hindered by the virus.
Yeah.
Nope.
Randy, I got to disagree with you. I think humans just don't change that quickly.
Yeah.
We're not even changing now. We won't even social distance now, and we could all be dying or getting each other sick. I think the minute the doors are open, it'll be like the horses out of the gate. They'll all run out to go do something. I think you've seen that already. In America, like it was said in the back room, Americans don't like to be told what to do. You open
Damn right.
and tell them to go out, run, and go to a con. They'll all be at a con if William Shatner's signing something. And that's what it'll be. You got to give away toilet paper at the first con. You give away toilet paper at the first con, and that thing will be full of people, very happy people. They'll all be in the bathroom, finally taking a shit after 3 or 4 weeks.
How long before some independent entrepreneur decides to print their comic on toilet paper?
I think Marvel does that already.
Marvel does.
Wasn't that most of the 90s?
We have other news that Rob has sent us that I'd like to read, but Varian, I need you to step in here for a second. I'm going to step out.
I'm back. I'm back like cooked crack. All right, so because crack is back.
You totally missed an opportunity to say you're back in black.
No. I mean,
you could have said still black.
AC/DC reference, man. Come on, you totally lost on it.
I'm hoping that listen, I'm hoping that this I'm hoping that they reset credit from this crisis. I'm hoping that everybody's credit gets reset.
You know what? There is a really nice conspiracy theory that I want to come true. It says we're going back to the gold standard.
The gold, you read that one too, Eric. I read that one too.
No more Federal Reserve.
I read that one too.
Yeah.
But I think in the one I read, Tom Hanks is going to jail though.
A lot of other people.
He goes to jail, and then the gold back thing. Yeah, him and a bunch of people in the gold bed. It's like, man, it's gonna be.
How dark do you want us to get? Because we can start talking about the reasons people going to jail.
Oh my goodness!
You notice Eric's talking about conspiracy theories. The internet started messing up, right? It's like.
Hey, you know what? In this day and age, conspiracy theories have more truth in them than the nightly news. You know,
that's scary, man. That's scary, bro.
You got to be a thinking person, and you got to shuffle through the cards and see, okay, what makes sense, what doesn't.
I have a resentment. I have a resentment for that, bro. I get so pissed off. It's like the moment I look at this shit and I go, God damn it, you son of a bitch is gonna make me go for the next hour and research this shit because I don't know what is goddamn fucking true or not. And now I gotta go sit on this shit for an hour and cross-reference all of this shit. God, why can't you just give it to me straight? Damn it.
More people did that, would be fine.
Yeah,
I know. It's just people are just pissed. Like, God damn it, son, why I gotta go through all this shit?
Now you're
more
making
people
me have to
understand
do research.
If more people just knew what the Constitution and founding documents meant, we'd be in a better place.
I will go with education. I will go with just being educated, just being informed or educated on certain things. That it's scary, man. I mean, I consider myself relatively, in the know, and it isn't until I was 40 years old that I started to really look at how's the sausage made? Like, what is the Constitution? Like, what are these things? Like, what is this stuff? Like, I enjoyed watching the impeachment just to see the House and the Senate and watch how it functions. And so I this whole time, and I just how it's you see in theory what's supposed to happen. Like, okay, it doesn't happen, but you see the theory of this stuff, and you do. And as a 40-year-old American, it took me that long to understand what the theory or what the concept of American exceptionalism is that what the Constitution represents is this document that prior to it, there is no document that says that your rights are you're born with them. And it's like, and the roles of these governments are to protect those rights. That's their role. It is not, they can't give you something that you're already born with. So like human rights are born, civil rights are born through this document. and then you get to be a part of this evolution and watch it go through this thing and hold itself up to these and say, well, you're not living up to these standards. This is the standard of what we're trying to shoot for. But that it's the first document that says, look, here's your rights that you're born with. And it's like, it's just impressive when you see it like that. All right, fuck all that. Let's get to the comic book stuff. This is the important stuff.
This is the important stuff, right?
In other news, Steve Jeppy denies rumors that Penguin Random House are buying Diamond.
So it's a done deal then, right?
Yeah, probably pretty close. Bleeding Cool has heard from multiple senior comic book industry sources that long before the current impact on the comic book industry from the coronavirus pandemic, book publisher distributor Penguin Random House was looking into buying Diamond Comic Distributors. Given recent events and their impact on business around the globe, Bleeding Cool has subsequently heard that this is now likely to happen. That's what it says. Rumor that Penguin Random House will be working with Diamond and DC Comics to distribute print comic books to open bookstores and direct market shops while Diamond has been shut down. Also seems to serve as some corroboration. But Diamond is owned by one man, Steve Jeppy. So we put the question to him. While he was watching Governor Hogan of Maryland announcing that those who violate staying at home orders, you will be charged with a misdemeanor, he took time to comment, telling me of Penguin Random House buying Diamond, quote, "This is news to me. While Diamond is not for sale." Oh, well, that's news to me. I can understand why Random House would find us an attractive acquisition for their portfolio. Excuse me. To tell you the truth, the feeling is mutual. I think Random House would be a great acquisition for us.
Yeah, he's not buying that. He's getting bought.
But this also gives me reason to look back. Diamond Comic Distributors, Inc. is part of Jeppy Family Enterprises. That includes Alliance Game Distributors, Diamond Book Distributors, Diamond UK, Diamond Select Toys, Gemstone Publishing, E. Gerber Products, Diamond International Galleries, Haykeys Americana and Collectibles, Morphe's Auction, and Jeppy's Entertainment Museum, and Baltimore Magazine. It was founded in 1982 by Baltimore-based comics retailer Steve Jeppy and expanded through acquisition, including New Media's Earjax's Warehouses in 1982, Bud Plant Inc. in 1988, Second Genesis Distribution 1990, Titan Distribution 1992, Capital City in 96, and Alliance Game Distributors in 2000. In other words, the fish kept gobbling up all of the other fish until it became the only fish. After signing exclusive direct market distribution deals with Marvel, DC, Image, Dark Horse, IDW, Boom, Dynamite, and many more, to all intents and purposes, it had a monopoly on new single comic books in the direct market of 2,000 comic book stores across North America. That number is questionable at this point, and will be a lot more questionable once the virus is done. Diamond became the subject of an investigation by the U.S. Justice Department for possible antitrust violations in 2000, as although Diamond had a monopoly on the North American comic book direct market distribution, they did not enjoy, how could they enjoy? They did not enjoy a monopoly on book distribution. Last year, owner and CEO Steve Jeppy rearranged his companies to operate under the umbrella of Jeppy Family Enterprises. At the time, it was suggested that this may make it easier to sell Diamond Comics distributors without affecting Jeppy's other businesses and letting him retain key employees. But until now, there hasn't been a whiff of that. How does he know? And Jeppy denies what is currently being gossiped about. The last month saw Diamond close its doors to new product to protect employees in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. DC Comics has suggested using multiple distributors to keep print comic books circulating in stores that are still open, and representatives suggested to Bleeding Cool and Penguin Random House that Penguin Random House would be a key partner in that endeavor. Might this be where the rumor came from, or might this just be Rich Johnston's desperate attempt to get some ink on the web? Penguin Random House is a multinational conglomerate publishing company formed in 2013 from the merger of German publisher Random House and British publisher Penguin Group. The Penguin Random House comprises Penguin and Random House in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Portugal, India, Penguin in Brazil, Asia, and South Africa, Dorling Kendersley worldwide, and Random House's companies in Spain,
I put a handy
America,
I put a handy graphic on the screen for anybody who needs visual aid.
But for now, that's all. Yeah. There we go, the Mafia family tree. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, like, what is, you mentioned in there talking about like the local comic book places and stuff like that. Like, that's been on my mind as of recently.
Well, that 2,000 number I think is high to start with. I think we were
It seems like
about
a lot.
we were at about 1,900 I think at the start of the year.
Yeah.
And there's been stores constantly going out, though I don't know how many new stores have come back on. But now that the virus has kicked in,
It's just gonna go right back down.
Everybody's on a tightrope.
Yep.
And these shops are the shops have always been tenuous, fighting from paycheck to paycheck or diamond delivery to diamond delivery to make sure, just to try to get their bill
what's
covered
important,
and their lights on.
What's important for everybody to remember, I think, is that if we do get different distribution companies, the main thing that when I talk to people, because I've dabbled in distribution before, and I talked to store owners. And they told me what made Diamond so attractive to them was just dealing with one central provider for the content. Because otherwise, like the store owners I talked to, and I talked to, gosh, maybe 70, 80 all over the country. And they told me that they don't want to do a deal with Anthony, with Josh, with Varian, with Randy, with Rob. God knows they don't want to do a deal with Rob. No. Yeah. But the thing is, they say, because you think about it, how many people do we know in the industry that are assholes? Now imagine all those people with their assholish behavior trying to get in your store and calling you, have you sold my book? Have you sold my book? I don't want to be an asshole, but you sold my book? Hey, can I send you some more copies? They don't want to deal with it. They rather deal with Diamond, let Diamond deal with us. And so that's what I kept hearing. And that's what I based my distribution company around, was trying to make sure that we were taking in quality product from individuals who were putting out quality books and individuals who weren't off their damn rockers. Now, so I don't know if having Random House and Penguin and all these different people involved in distribution of comics, some company's going to get left out. I guarantee you. Some company's going to get some company, some store isn't going to want to pick up books from from Penguin or Random House or whatever other publisher there is or distributor there is, and that's gonna create a problem. And then two,
if they tie themselves to a specific distributor, and you keep these exclusive contracts going on, it's going to be a bit of a problem as well. Back in the 80s, when we first started Arrow Comics up, Ralph in the chat will attest to this, we were dealing with a dozen distributors. And those slowly started narrowing down, but there were some really good distributors out there that was moving a ton of product. I mean, Capital City was moving independent product like
Capital City.
Business.
I remember Capital City.
They were doing a really good job getting a wide variety of comics out there to everybody. And I was really sorry to see them leave. Mainly because we knew Diamond was going to turn into a funnel and a gatekeeper, a major gatekeeper, which they did, and they still are. In order to keep any type of creative freedom or movement in the market, everything got in my opinion, got very castrated.
Well, you're right. And the thing that I think was troublesome about diamond was that there was I know at one point, and this was back in 2004 or 5 area. There was this underlying current that if you tried to circumvent diamond, you could get blackballed. Like it wasn't like it wasn't free market. It wasn't free market. It wasn't like, well, if you can do a better job, go do it. It's if you went and did it, they would then blackball you. And that I think is what rubbed people. It made people kind of go south. It was just like that. Well, that ain't cool, man. Like you're trying to essentially kill my business if I don't go with you. And there's the whole mafia strong arm type of thing. It's just like, man, like do your thing. Let me do my thing. Let me do what I want to do. I think that's what I remember had burned people kind of a diamond at an early point, because at that point, I think 2004, I want to say they had been around. Capital City may have been gone for, say, when did Capital City go? Maybe late 90s?
I think it was more mid 90s, right around when around when Image started up, shortly after that. Yeah.
Gotcha. I was about, I guess you're about right. It would have to be like, I guess you're right. Maybe 94.
I remember the thing that broke Diamond was that Top Cow signed with, decided to go with, didn't break Diamond, but broke Capital City, was that Top Cow decided to run with Diamond.
Gotcha.
And that was the last of the really big companies, and Capital City was really hoping that Top Cow would stick with them, or at least allow them to keep distributing their product.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in the meantime,
they're probably 93, 94, Randy.
Like I said, during the 80s and 90s, Capital City they had an incredible catalog. They had great people working for them. They had warehouses set up all across the country, probably all across the globe, and they really pushed the comics equally, the independents as well as the mainstream stuff. And there was a lot of product being moved, a lot of product back then. I mean, we're talking Arrow Comics was seeing 20,000 print runs. On a black and white book.
I got a question for you guys. Has this from Indie Radio? Has this quarantine changed any of your release plans? Like, if you're working on a book, is it possible that now your book's gonna go up and be if you're working on a 30-page book, is it now a 60 or 90 pager? Has that changed anything at all? Or you still staying the course?
Well, the plans that I had are staying the way they are. I got 2 books that I'm working on, and I was shooting for an April release for one of them, and then sometime in summer for the other. And I'm sticking with the plan just because a lot of my, I would say a lot of the people that go after my books I deal with online, so that's not really been affected too much.
Hey, Varian.
Yeah.
What's that green stuff? We used to get it at cons, the money.
Yeah.
Without it, it's very hard to keep things going.
Well, I guess, yeah. I mean, like, but you
wait a minute. Are artists suddenly working for exposure again? If artists are working for exposure again, everything can keep going. But as long as the writer's got to pay an artist, this is going to slow a lot of projects down.
Well, I mean, you still have the ability to write, though. I mean, you could turn that book that you maybe thought, okay, or you can save money. So now you don't have to pay that artist because you don't have a book to release. So now you could approach that artist and say, hey, here's what I got. Here's what I've been able to save, especially because most artists, they aren't working right now because they don't have the money.
Well,
so
they've been told to put their pencils down.
Right. So you go to some artist and you come and say, hey, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say probably more along the lines of Rob, only from this standpoint, Varian. I would mix both of you guys together, and that whatever projects you have that are already kind of done, they're done. But you can then go forward, like what you're saying, Varian, and then start a new project and have it ready to go when you can crowdfund. You can spend more time on that, because if you've already crowdfunded the book, let's say you already got the project ready to go, you already have your money out, you're printing out, you already have all that stuff lined up. You know what I mean? You play that game of going in, because I hear you, throw an extra 10 pages in, but how does that alter everything? How does that change things? You know what I mean? Overall, versus, and this is something I learned, putting together your next project and getting it as far along as possible, so that when you basically drop it, you almost have a completed project. to me, it's worth more to as something. Take a fool's advice on this. It's worth more to do it that way, and have all your duckies in a row for a project waiting to drop, than to overwork something, because that's my issue. I'll overwork something and just I'll kill it and start. Oh well, let me add this and let me add it and then just want to put myself into a jam.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I think it's a mixture of both. Whereas like if you move forward in whatever you can, I'm fortunate enough to be able to do both. But like you're saying, if you can write something, write it. If you can draw something, draw it. And have it ready to go for when things, whatever they're gonna do. And you got product at least ready to either almost be produced, ready to be produced. You've taken it as far as you can go, so that once that project is ready to go, you can then, here you go, do this. Now I can then move on to the next thing. And you're steadily moving forwards and stuff. I mean, ideally, I know that's the theory behind it. I don't know in actual practice. It's a little bit different.
So like you don't want to get hung up on that same project and try to keep pushing forward kind of thing.
Sure.
I think that's a good call. Yeah, because that's what, like, I know a lot of people that I've worked with or talked to that are working on projects right now, and I haven't really gotten anything from them. Kind of like varying what the kind of the whole question was like, not that 30-page book getting it bigger and bigger. I haven't. Everyone I've talked to said that no, I'm just going to stick with what I'm doing. And then just do more of it, do another 30-page book or a couple different ones. So
yeah, so this isn't affecting my personal projects at all.
I don't. For me, no. In fact, I did think about redoing a page, but I was like, nah. The wife threatened to kill me.
You've been working on the same page for the last month.
She told me, she says, if you redo it's a page I did earlier, I wasn't happy. Which, like, if you redo that page, I'll kill you. Ralph says 13 distributors at the high point in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Yep. And then Friendly Franks was real nice to us.
Yeah.
But, excuse me.
Franks.
From Indie Vote Radio.
Sunrise and Heroes World and all sorts of stuff. Anyway.
From Indie Vote Radio, I'm not going to say the name, but they said, I think a certain creator will definitely get his book out in time now that we're all quarantined and he can't get out the house to go to concerts and other things. I'm not saying the name. Yeah.
Well, he's already made a plan to get. He's advertising his book to come out, I think, in March, and he's actually planning on having it out before the end of the year.
Yeah, that's mean.
So,
that's mean.
That's kind of mean. But he was late on his first book, so that's kind of a deserved jab, I would think. But when you're crowdfunding, especially when it becomes a big book like that, with the amount of money that was generated on that book, he literally took that book from a 48 to a 80-page book because he saw all the money coming in.
Sure.
He wanted to make sure people had their money's worth.
Sure.
To get back to our original question, I've had a couple of commercial jobs that I've been working on, so my workflow isn't really hindered, but I do have a crowdfunding book that I'm in the middle of doing that I have a rough schedule for to come out later this year. Now I'm a little worried that because of the virus and because everybody's indoors and has to hunker in, that a lot of the crowdfunding campaigns are going to spring up right about summer, maybe early fall, depending upon if these guys are going to run as soon as the product is done and how long it takes them to do the product, or if they're just going to, as soon as the virus is done, boom, we're going to see a sudden explosion in crowdfunding books from people who want to get their projects out there as quickly as possible. That has me really concerned. I don't want to change my schedule, and I'm going to keep working to have it done, but I really want to do my campaign about August, September. Is what I'm hoping.
It's just gonna keep your finger in the air, Randy, and watch the winds. You know what I mean? You may be set to take them. Yeah, you may be set to be right in the spot, man. You know what I mean? Right in that spot when it opened, and when, like Rob was saying, when the gates open and people are like raring for something. You know what I'm saying? It's there'll be a sweet spot in there if you can hit it, man. It'll be good.
Well, the thing that's really impressed me is a lot of these crowdfunding campaigns haven't been hindered by the virus. You're not having a lot of at least the campaigns with high visibility. You're not getting a lot of low numbers on that. You're still getting some big, consistent buyers out there.
I know. I keep.
That's pretty impressive to me.
You may want to drop it once the government money starts coming out, Randy. You may want to try to get
There's
some of
that
that
too.
government
Hey,
money.
I can spare $50. I just got a check from Trump.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Got another radio message here. I'm trying to check and see if it was actually true, but
We love all you radio listeners.
there's
Andrews.
So Andrew says that he was everyone in his city, which I'm trying to figure out where the hell that is. Andrew says basically that they've been told that the COVID outbreak, and this is just, I want to state this is from Indie Vote Radio. This does not mean this is true. I'm researching it, but that the outbreak could last well into 2021. So he says it's a little premature for people to think we're gonna all go back to cons. He says that kind of conventions and mass gatherings, maybe planning for 2022 is a better option for most of us.
Or 2021, even late 2021. There's so much about the virus they don't know for sure,
Right.
because it's so new and everything's moving on bell curves that they're trying to flatten out into smaller humps, which is why everybody's under a stay-in-place order.
And the thing is that we have to start wondering how long these, because that's really what took a lot of this out, was the stay-in-place order and the mass gathering orders. That took a lot of events out. So, okay, you know what? I've got nothing.
You're also relying on a lot of these countries to be telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, has it disappeared from
China?
Hunan, from China?
Yeah.
Like they're talking.
Is Italy going down? Because it didn't look like they were going down a couple days ago. I mean, their numbers were dropping.
The other thing is,
there's any of a number of things.
Can we
Factors.
okay, 2020, there's nothing for 2020. That's fine, because we've talked about this and we all know how to adapt. We've all been in this industry for a while. We know how to change. We know where the customers are at, where to find them. Short of the post office or postal service or shipping services shutting down, we should all be able to get our books out there to customers who want to read them.
Yeah.
I can't wait, because there's gonna be some oh boy. Sorry. But 2021, I'll get into that later. But 2021, not having a con in 2021, that might start to hurt the pocketbook a bit. But
you're already hurting pocketbooks now.
Yeah, I mean, well, me personally, it'll start. Whoa, wait a minute, I need to. Yeah. Thank God I got a pop. It's not a beer. Thank God. Because if it was a beer, oh my gosh, you guys have I got a bunch of wine over there too for cheap. I did stock up on alcohol, because I'm waiting for Whitmer to pull the plug on alcohol, like so many other states have done, shutting down the alcohol purchases.
When they shut down alcohol.
As long as Meijer and Walmart are open, you can get booze.
Yeah,
I think that's only happened in 1 or 2 states at the most.
Yeah.
And
they've shut alcohol down.
And aren't they the ones that have things like ABC stores where you have to go somewhere separate to buy alcohol?
Yeah, a lot of those are like that. I'm not sure which states have called it, which haven't, but
I don't drink.
I'd be shocked to see Whitmer do it. The lottery is still running.
I don't drink often.
They're going to keep as many of those vices.
I don't normally drink, but when I do, it's cheap wine.
Yeah, but when they tell me, I
Walmart
can't buy it, when they tell me I can't buy it, I freak out. Like, what do you mean I can't buy it? Like, I don't smoke cigarettes at all, but I got a feeling they tell me, hey, all the cigarette sales are stopping. I'm probably gonna run and buy a carton of Newports just because it just seems like some shit I had to have around.
That's the whole
thing.
With
mean, that's
Obama.
currency. That's the currency of apocalypse, right?
Yeah.
Traded cigarettes, that's money.
That's the whole thing that happened with firearms when Obama became president. They were freaking that
Right.
Obama's going to take away all your guns. So all of a sudden, everybody ran out and bought guns.
Bought a bunch.
And imagine, I'm outside one day.
Whitmer's going to take away our liquor. Oh my God!
There's 2 wayfish young ladies walking down the street in this apocalyptic wasteland.
Wayfish.
I look at them. I cast my mag light onto their, their soiled clothing. I look at them. They're tattered. They've seen some shit. I look at their faces. I kind of recognize them. One
Mom?
One is Megan Fox. The other is Margot Robbie. I say, girls, what are you doing?
Walking down the streets of Detroit.
Yeah. Hey, listen, this is apocalyptic.
Just haphazardly just wandering around together.
And Margot and her look at me, and they say, "Oh my God, we got our friend.
Wake up.
We got our friend Mila Jovovich back there."
And then they she asked you if you want to see her trapeze act.
No. They're willing to do anything for a pack of cigarettes, and I got them.
You got them. That's the whole point.
And you heard there was going to be a shortage.
And I know this because again, I grew up in Detroit, and unfortunately, there's a lot of shit you can get for a pack of cigarettes. So it's bad. It's bad.
It's stupid.
That is the apocalyptic story I've ever heard.
I mean, look, you talk now, Kat. In 6 months' time, a roll of toilet tissue might be all you need to get a car.
I got like 9 rolls or 10 in the bathroom. I'm okay.
I don't. You know what? See, I don't.
I'll keep one aside just in case.
Varian, stop talking to Larry.
I got a 6-pack of paper towel in my trunk.
Larry's probably in the place pissing out.
Larry's waiting to come in, by the way.
Yeah. He's not in the back. He's not in the green room, though.
No, he's not in the green room, but he said if we needed an extra person, he was ready.
Next week, Varian's going to be in a hazmat suit on the show, being like, "Everyone, we're dying. Everyone, it's over."
Are you kidding? He's got that already ordered on Amazon. He'll have it on tomorrow night.
It's gonna be here Monday. I'm waiting for it. The first, actually.
If they don't get delayed too much.
Yeah. Don't delay my hazmat suit.
Yeah.
I would worry about, though. In all seriousness, I would worry about conventions. This lasting in 2021, that would suck. But at the same time, I've seen so many people now running to online and running to YouTube and trying to sell their books. And look, I don't know what it. Well, I know the internet will call you out on your BS so damn quick, because when you're at a con, you're genuine. Hey, how you doing? How are you? That shit is acceptable because people are taken in by the loud sounds and the crowd and everything else. But when you get here on the internet, it's a lot more intimate. And I got to tell you, I recognize a lot of people who come into our chat. And I never met them, but I know some of the names. Some of them have messaged me on Facebook or Twitter, later. And I know, that's a long story. They added to my story and messed it up, though. You always got hecklers in the crowd, always. But I've seen people go online now trying to sell their books, and they ring false because they just don't seem like they are really trying to. You can tell that so many people have never read a comic book in their life, ever. They don't know, like.
Suddenly, 3 people came to Katrina's mind. You could see it in her face.
Yeah. Like, I make comics. I love comics. Comics are great. What's your favorite comic? My favorite comic? I really like X-Men. Yeah, I like X-Men. Who's your favorite X-Men? X-Men? Which,
He's my favorite too.
Oh, I thought you'd get the one where they would be like, "Well, there's so many. I hate to pick just one."
I don't want anybody to get hurt.
It's like I remember a guy walking past us at Motor City Comic Con. He's strutting and he's got a Green Lantern.
Guy dressed as Wonder Woman?
No, this guy dressed as Green Lantern, and the guy says, "Hey, which Green Lantern are you?" And he looks at the best one. And keeps walking. Some cosplay.
The great one.
The best one. The best one. And he's like, yeah. And my buddy was like, "Fuck you." It was just great.
You're like, isn't it obvious, noob? I mean, come on, man.
Fuck you, the best one. So I would but there are so many, and I think that these people aren't gonna be able to handle the trolls when the trolls come. And they will come. They will come. These people are not gonna be able to handle it because you get out of the ability to have that safe space here. You do. Also, I dare you sons of bitches to go on YouTube. I dare you. Facebook ads views up way differently than YouTube. Google has that shit on lock.
Trying Indie Volt.
Indie Volt Radio.
There you go.
Excuse me. Oh, I will choke on my own rage. Hold on. Because I accidentally closed the tab.
Choking in his own rage.
I will pass on the YouTube thing. I'm doing a weekly Facebook Live, and that's more than enough for me.
You're an editor. I'm just kidding.
I'm not trying to sell shit.
Yeah, you're not trying to sell nothing. I'm just kidding. You're making money off of us.
And loving every minute of it.
Yeah, you do make.
That's not true. I do have a book coming out. It's just not a comic.
Oh, for sure. I'm just kidding.
We don't care about that.
Is this what they call prose?
It is what they call it. It's a book of children's stories.
You know the reason why they call it prose? You know why they call it?
Prose write it?
No, that's the closest you guys ever get to that name. I'm just kidding. I do like novelists. I know a couple novelists, and they work very, very hard. And you know what I don't like about novelists though? You guys all drink the same kind of tea.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, your Earl Grey, your chamomile, and your. I'm sorry, I've been drinking wine. So if you don't like what I got to say tonight,
I don't know.
Are you drinking wine in a can, bro?
No, I've been drinking.
It's out of a box. It's out of a box.
Yeah, from Walmart.
Box, Walmart.
Yeah. Oh, I've been drinking.
I had cherry vanilla Coke tonight, so I'm not a tea drinker. Maybe that's why I'm not a successful novelist yet.
There you go.
8,811 people listening to us on Indie Vote Radio right now. Thank you all, everyone listening on Chrome, on radio, on Chrome, on the Android app, using TuneIn, Echo, which is Alexa, and I want to say she'll answer, and listening to us, France, Germany, United Kingdom, Portugal. Really want to thank you guys, and also let me go click and see who else is listening.
Did we lose Paraguay?
No, they're not at the top anymore.
Oh, come on, Paraguay.
Yeah, we were with you for a second, Paraguay, but you, and then I always feel bad when they have other up there. I'm like, well, who's other? Who's in other?
Who falls in that category?
Yeah. It's like,
Wakanda.
Yeah.
Wakanda.
Wakanda's in there.
Yeah. Who has no corona cases right now? Wakanda. They don't have any.
What's that force field that they're around?
Yeah, no
extreme isolationism.
Yeah.
They've been practicing
nationalism and isolation
since the dawn of time.
Thought that was gonna work.
Stay home, stay safe for a long time.
Who would have thought? I'll be right back, gang. I'll be right back. You guys will hang out. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah. No more pregnant pauses, please, Randy.
No more pregnant pauses. What's that mean?
Now we're just gonna do them.
We'll make the rounds while you're gone, so everybody can push stuff. Oh, there we go. And of course, he's not there. So
how can he not be there? He's supposed to be social distancing.
He's not there.
Damn it!
He's not there. I might be able to get him on. Hang on, just a second. Let me see if I can find him. Ethan. He checks in from time to time.
Terrible things are going on in the world right now. Absolutely terrible.
There he is. Hey, Ethan, how you doing? Why'd you call in?
Let me see here.
Yeah.
Well, let me check in on you guys and just make sure you're okay.
Yeah, we're all good, buddy. Thanks for asking.
That was good. That was good, man.
It's always good for him to check in from time to time. Makes people mad. We get hate mail.
That's good.
Hate mail's better
you
than
ain't
no
getting
mail.
hate mail. You ain't doing it right, man.
There you go.
There
That's
you
what
go.
they tell us.
Exactly.
That's what they tell us. Rob, are you there, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let's make the rounds. Where can people find your stuff?
MrAnderson.com, IndieAdvocates.com, or any other website, considering I own them all.
You own them all.
All of them. Every single one.
Katrina, what's going on?
You can find me at catscratchpress.com, geekorama.net.
Catscratchpress.com?
Catscratchpress.com.
Awesome. Anthony, what's up? Where can we find
you can find me at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, LinkedIn under Kid Destructo, or you can go straight to kiddestructo.com. And you can also find me on Instagram, Indiegogo. You can find me on Indiegogo as well, and you can look up my book, which is in demand, called God's Hand.
God's Hand. God's Hand. Josh, where can we find you?
Pretty much anywhere on the socials at JR Comic Art or jrcomicart.com. I got my website revamped and looking good so far, and getting all my comics up there.
How many comics do you have available?
Oh, 1 or 2 right now, but I have plans about doing 5 or 6 up there.
Okay.
People read all my wonderful variety of sci-fi to horror to paranormal to anything. It's pretty great.
Wide variety of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when they buy the comics on your site, correct?
Yeah, they can buy the comics on there, and then I do have some of my short comics that I'm going to be putting up that they can read too.
Okay.
Because I like when people can read stuff for free.
Okay.
They can enjoy some nice
What's the average price point for a book?
Oh, probably like if it's a shorter book, yeah, like less than $5. I mean, you can even get the PDF for like $2.50.
Okay. All
so
right.
yeah, I try to promote in this whole digital aspect so everybody can read it without having to worry about the postal service.
Mm-hmm.
At least right this second.
Okay. Awesome.
You guys where you can find me?
I didn't ask.
Whatever.
No, but we can, or I can go now. No, well, you go. You go ahead.
Well, depending on how quick I get to the bottom of this bottle, you might find me running down the street.
How dare you?
You can find me on kid_, that's KYD_V on Twitter, Variant Grand on Facebook, and When We Ride is my website, Indie Vote, of course, and Last Call Comics, my publishing company. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're closing?
Yes, next Tuesday.
Okay, the last thing I want to be when the end of the world comes is sober.
What?
She's got a good point. She's got a great point. I'm gonna need this alcohol that I have stored here because I picked up this from Walmart.
What?
Closer to the camera.
I don't want to do a Larry.
There you go.
I don't want to do a Larry, but X-Men #1 by Hickman.
Oh, there you go.
I don't.
Oh, I thought that was an important comic.
It's not. That's why I'm
fired.
drinking this, because no one needed to get through.
Just to get through page 1, huh?
Oh yeah, I'm probably gonna do a video tonight on it from my Facebook. I'll open it, put it in my lap.
Should I'll get copies and do dramatic readings and critiques.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
It's in Walmart in a 3-pack right now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Where it belongs. Because you know what? Coming May 5th, those Allegiance art books are going to be available at Walmart. Those won't be in 3-packs. But they will be available.
Yeah.
All over. 3,000 and some odd Walmarts all over the country. So that'll be very interesting.
What are they? Bass Reeves?
Bass Reeves, Nora's Story, and the
Nora
Futurists,
Saga.
right? What? Nora's Saga. Nora's Saga.
Mm-hmm.
It's and what is the other one? The Futurists, right?
Yeah, Futurists. That's the one I was forgetting.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those three, and eventually Red Rooster will join. So
I honest to God thought you said Rankin Bass for a moment there.
Rankin Bass.
Isn't that a production?
What did the claymation cartoon?
You're going back.
It's Bass,
Yeah, you're going
Bass
back.
Reeves. Yeah, that's way
Bass
back.
Yeah.
Way back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bass Reeves.
Bass
Rob.
Reeves. It actually looks good. All of their products look top notch, so it'll be real interesting.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. I have a question for you, sir.
Uh-oh.
I want to know what you guys think about this too, because I just heard about it. Apparently, freaking crap, I forgot his name. He's pissed because the National Emergency Library just made a bunch of books available for reading.
Who?
The National Emergency Library?
No, who's
Who's
pissed?
angry?
Hold on. I'll tell you who's angry.
Who's gonna find out?
Well, what books did he release?
A bunch of books. Hold on. Here we go. All right. I forgot the guy's name, but then again, I have been drinking. So, all right, here we go. Who was pissed? Let's see.
Was he right or wrong?
No. Colson Whitehead, Neil Gaiman, Alexander Cheaton. There was somebody else who was pissed too. Forget who it is, but they're pissed
Neil
because
Gaiman is pissed.
Neil Gaiman's pissed.
Oh, Neil Gaiman. I thought you said Neil Diamond. I'm like,
No.
holy crap. Neil Diamond be pissed.
Chuck,
Why is he in here?
let's see here. Chuck Wendig, a prolific novelist who joined the chorus of authors criticizing the move on Twitter.
I can't believe you're reading that.
With the notion of calling the Internet Archives catalog a library. Yeah.
Chuck Wendig?
Yeah.
Chuck Wendig.
Am I supposed to say his name?
Yeah. If you say it 3 times, evil things will happen.
It's
Oh.
gonna be right here.
Yeah.
You're right behind me.
Yeah.
Yep. He'll come crawling out of a mirror somewhere, I think.
Oh, shit.
Why is that name familiar?
Well, the other day, you were probably reading a poop book, and you said, "Who the hell wrote this?" Looked at him and Chuck Wendig. He read this book.
Well, he's pissed because the National Emergency Library has released a bunch of books, and a lot of authors and publishers are condemning it as piracy.
What is the National Emergency Library?
I've never even heard of this thing.
I can't believe you people.
The National Emergency Library.
Yes, here.
In an emergency, grab a book.
So,
last week, we're the government. You can grab this book.
Last week, when the Internet Archive announced the National Emergency Library expanding access to more than 1 million digitized works, the group explained the move as a goodwill gesture in the time of this unfortunate circumstance, because apparently they don't want us to say that word on YouTube, but it's too late for us right now. Anyway, with so many brick and mortar libraries forced to close their doors, in other words, the group was opening up its lending program. Now, instead of the usual policy of just 1 digital copy per reader for a 14-day period, many frustrated readers could borrow copies of the same book during the same time and could do so through the end of June or the end of the global whichever came sooner. But there's one major issue that several media outlets, including NPR, failed to mention in covering the decision. Many writers and publishers say the website, even before the creation of this National Emergency Library, has been sharing full digital copies of their books without their permission.
Sounds like comicology.
Yeah. And over the weekend, dozens of prominent authors from Colson Whitehead and Neil Gaiman to Alexander Cheaton made clear that they were upset with the Internet Archives model, and doubly so now with the expansion of lending services and its timing.
Did you say Alexander Shang-Chi?
No, Alexander Cheese, C-H-E.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Question. Since you asked me about this. So let me get this straight. These people have books that aren't selling very well anymore, being given to a new audience that is stuck at home and forced to read their book because they're so bored, and that's a problem with them. Am I getting that story right?
Well, they're not getting any money for it, Rob.
They weren't getting any money from these people going to these sites anyway. The people going to these sites were never going to pay for them. But you know what they could do? They could read the book and become a fan and then seek them out later for further things. Everyone's always worried about the money up front. They forget that you get money on the back end when people know who you are. Well, that's why big actors fall very quick when they only take the roles they want. Happened to Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel decided he was a big shot, suddenly realized he wasn't. They killed his ass off in Triple X. He had to kick some major ass to get back to do another Triple X movie, which was horrible. But that's not the point. The point is, he had to get down on it and then get both cheeks. And it was Harvey Weinstein's cheeks. I don't really know if that's true, but I just wanted that visual. But the whole point is that they've already signed up for it, it sounds like. They don't like the model. They should have never signed up for it. They're the copyright owners. They could just pull the book. There's nothing stopping them from pulling the book.
That's what you'd wonder. You wonder if it's just for GP or what the deal is or what are the details on everything. You know, if it's just the simple fact of that they're doing it without asking them first or anything like this. I mean, I understand the theory of saying, look, in a long ball, this is long ball game, but you don't know. I don't know what the details are on this. Is this something they signed up for? Is this something, or did they just snatch these books up? Or
here's some more details. And now I think this is pretty big, guys. Listen to this. With mean writing incomes of only $20,300 a year prior to the crisis, so that's what they're saying writers are making, $20,300 a year prior to the crisis. Authors like authors like others are now struggling all the more. From canceled book tours and loss of freelance work, income supplementing jobs, and speaking engagements, the Authors Guild, a professional group that provides legal assistance to writers, said in a statement released Friday. And now they are supposed to swallow this new pill, which robs them of their rights to introduce their books to digital formats, as many hundreds of midless authors do when their books go out of print, and which all but guarantees that author incomes and publishing revenues will decline even further. They go on to say that the Guild said that last year alone it sent the organization hundreds of takedown notices on behalf of the writers it represents, citing the Digital Millennium Copyright Act 1998 laws lays a framework for preventing users from creating digital copies of copyrighted materials and circulating it without the copyright holder's permission.
Yet another example as to why you don't want to go digital. But anyway,
acting as a piracy site, of which they already are too many. The Internet Archive tramples on authors' rights by giving away their books to the world. The Guild added the Science Fiction Writers of America has previously admitted the Internet Archive's infringement, and the Association of American Publishers, in a statement of its own Friday, condemned the move as a cynical play to undermine copyright and all the scientific, creative, and economic opportunity that it supports. I don't think I have a book on there. But
well, you don't know if you do. You very may well have a book or two on there, and you might just not know it.
Yeah. I mean, but I think if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I read your book on this site," oh, okay, that's cool.
Well, I guess that's where
don't ever do it again.
I'm trying to understand. So, did they have permission to do this, or they just started pulling?
Sound like it.
Yeah,
that's what I'm. I guess that's where. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to understand. Is if you're pulling artist stuff into this, there definitely should be a, hey, we'd like you to be a part of this. This is what we're doing. Are you willing to be a part of this thing? I don't know that this concept of pulling stuff and pulling it into this and just being like, oh, this is a national emergency. We have access to all this stuff, so we're just gonna take it. If that's the case, then then you got a GP argument there, the way it's like, well, no, you national emergency or not, this idea of you can just snatch up whatever you want. If that's the case, because that's what I'm trying to find out is where'd they pull these books from, and did they have permission to do it, or is this just some national emergency thing? Like, well, it's a national emergency, we're just going to grab whatever we want.
You're right.
Then you got an argument there.
Well, it sounds like this is an Internet Archive, which means it traps information and then it gives it back out. And their argument is they're not charging for it, so they're not breaking copyright privilege. Not true, and which is why they're getting so many letters. Sounds like it's a job for the government. It's another pirate site.
Yeah.
Well, because when I hear National Emergency Archive, doesn't that
right? You would
title sound government?
It sounds official. Yeah. Well, that's what I was thinking. Is this that's where I was going with it. Is this already government? Is this the government's piracy site? It's like, is this a government? That's what I think when I hear that. That somehow this is a government overreach type thing.
The article doesn't say
I could be wrong.
Back, does it?
Right. No, I don't think it does.
Yeah.
I guess you'd have to do your homework and find out who is or what is this national.
Varian, when you get an email tomorrow from the Federal Reserve of Emergency Money, make sure that you donate to it. It's very important that you give your money to the Federal Reserve Emergency Money Campaign.
Yeah.
I gave last week, so no need to contact me. I already gave.
Rob just picked that site up last week too.
Yeah. Now that I know it's money, you're damn right.
Yeah.
Chuck Wendig actually posted on Twitter. He says, "Hey, there's like, dear at NPR, hey, hi, this is a pirate website. It's not legit. What the F are you doing? They have my books on there for free, which is piracy. Libraries often offer ebooks, so please use those links." So yeah, they're upset.
So they're saying it's not a legit site. Then.
Yeah,
it's not a government site or anything like that.
No. Right. That's what they're saying.
Okay.
Should be
I don't think the government would set that up anyway. Not when they have the Library of Congress. So.
Well, you wouldn't think. I know you wouldn't think so.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I gotta step out for another minute. Varian.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
And people on Twitter like, hey, copyright is still a thing. Please don't pirate our books, especially right now.
Yeah, this is a bad time.
Yeah, take this piece down. It's piracy. They're asking them to take it down, and I mean, you take the piece down, but I mean, they're not gonna stop. You know, people aren't gonna stop going there. It's cats out of the bag now.
What site are you on? Out of curiosity.
Twitter. You can look at all the NPR.
This thing you're showing us. What site is that?
NPR.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's npr.org. I can send you the link if you want.
No, I was just more curious what the actual site was. Who was covering it.
Right.
And people are messaging NPR like, "Hey, take this down. This should not be up." You are. Now, someone messaged and they said Chuck's books, Chuck Wendick, not Chuck, isn't our Chuck, but another Chuck. Chuck's books on archive.org are only accessible using an encryption key provided by the Library of Congress. People who are blind or disabled. Fuck this guy. I searched a couple of other authors in the thread complaining about their books being pirated by the Internet Archive, and all of them were only available in DAISY format to borrow, not keep, like a fucking library. One last thing, there's also an exception in copyright law which allows libraries to freely create and distribute accessible copies of copyrighted literary works for disabled people. I did not know that, but maybe someone here on the panel is a little bit more versed in that. And so is that a thing? The library can take your content and make it accessible for those with disabilities without
put it in Braille?
Yeah.
Or
audiobook?
Thank you. Yeah, audiobooks. They're allowed to do audiobooks.
That would make sense. I'd never even heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
I would be game for that as long as they gave me a copy and let me distribute it. You know, they'll pay for the audio version.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, okay, well, you did the audio production. Okay, cool. Let me have access to that.
Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge for it though.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just let you know.
Yeah. That is
Well, there's something Rob mentioned. You know, kind of going on the Vin Diesel explanation and stuff, like swinging it back to comics. It kind of, you know, I pointed out in my mind, because I think there is definitely this, you know, element of like you have to invest some things. You know, you're not always going to get the money out of it. And you know, and that's a given, especially in this industry. But like, I definitely feel like there needs to be, especially people that are getting into the industry, younger comic artists or writers or etc., like creators in general, need to remember that like, just because you didn't make $10 off your whatever product it was, doesn't mean that could lead to, you know, $100 more or whatever. That idea of investing your product.
Now, it says, isn't the Internet Archive, Dr. Kiki Sanford says, isn't the Internet Archive working with libraries on the Open Library project through implementing controlled lending, one book, one download of in copyright materials? I haven't heard of them pirating. Someone says, yes, a job they have had assigned to them by the U.S. government. So apparently the U.S. government did give them permission, or did give them, you know, the assignment to get this done. Apparently, since the Internet Archive is not a pirate website, you cannot download modern books. It is a digital library. All authors who are still not in public domain, who are available through libraries, have got their money for those books. I can borrow books from the Internet Archive, but I cannot download them. Only books prior to 1923 can be downloaded. You are mad at a library. Heck, at least be mad at
it is legit.
Yeah.
It seems to be legit.
So you can't fucking find, you can't. That's the problem with Twitter and shit like this. People just got mouthing off, and it's like this. This is just what I was pissing about earlier. It's like, and then it's like it doesn't take that much time. What do we take? 10 minutes, 15 minutes to figure out. It's like, well, no, it is the library. It is a legitimate thing. You know, it's like, yeah. So it's a library.
Yeah.
You can't download this stuff, is what they're saying.
Right.
You can't take the books. You can just like from a library, you can take it, read it, but it's encrypted in a way where you can't pirate it. Is that accurate?
That seems to be what's happened. Yeah. And they do have permission to go, even if it's copyrighted, to modify it so that it can be accessible for those with disabilities.
Please, I can pirate anything.
Well, I mean, I don't see, and I guess I you know, without speaking out of turn, it's just I guess I understand Wendig's point of view, but at the same time, well, then just offer your book with some digital added bonus that separates it from the library version. You know what I mean? It makes it worth actually purchasing and shit. I don't quite
You don't get
see.
the ending. You all free people don't get the ending.
Wait, what?
You don't get the ending. That's what happens. Then you free people get the ending. I hope you're happy 200 pages and you don't know how it ends.
Are you 20,300? You guys buying the number?
What is it again?
For the writers, 20,000. Basically, they're basically saying they get 24,000 a year for being a writer.
Depends on what you're writing.
Income.
Oh,
Depends who you are.
That depends upon the deal that you make and the ambition that you have to make them.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't believe Stephen King is making that much money a year, but I'm sure there are others that are definitely making that.
Said what? 20,000 or 200,000?
24,000.
Yeah, basically 24,000. I rounded up, but yeah. Here we go.
Yeah, that's probably a decent movie deal for King.
Can you guys see that?
Probably not even a decent movie deal, actually, for King. That's probably a day on the set.
Yeah, I made
Yeah, right.
With me writing incomes of only 20,300 a year prior to the crisis, authors like others are now struggling all the more.
That could be, that could be Chuck Wendig's annual income. I could see that happening.
Another Chuck swipe. Chuck is gonna come on the show one day like, "Hey, Randy, I'll meet you. I'll meet you in the streets of Flint. Let's do it. Let's do it."
I don't think he'd say the streets of Flint, but
let's have a write-off.
I'd be saying this. Wake up, Chuck.
Yeah.
It's okay.
By the way, Indy, it's really messed up. Poor Chuck. I didn't know he was that bad. I didn't know I couldn't mention his name on the show either, but now I know.
Chuck?
Yeah. Now that I know, I'm going to.
I have a sneaking suspicion he's going to be a running gag.
Yeah. He's got to be now. He's got to be. By the way, Indie Vault today brought to you by Zeros, written by Chuck Wendig. You can.
Is that the name of his latest book or the amount of money he made?
Damn, y'all rough, bro. Y'all a rough crowd.
He has a book called Zeros and Wanderers. So if you make zero, you will wander over the country trying to find.
Sounds like his career right there.
Source of income. He's probably gonna
become a hobo,
in my opinion.
Randy, in my opinion.
Don't take this out on me. This is all Randy is doing, and he's
send all hate mail to Rob.
Yeah.
Indie Vault Radio.
We'll just have a redirect.
Yeah. I'll redirect everything.
There you go.
Thing, right? Where I'll be getting messages all middle of the night. What the hell is going on? Why is this happening to me?
Well, I don't care. This morning, and I'll come on your show, and I'll just.
That's Chuck Wendig right there.
It is.
Yeah.
Just told him how much he makes a year.
Probably.
That's not a good. That's not a good look. It's not a good look.
Yeah, he had to. If that price is right, I can see why his mouth is open. That makes the money.
Damn, dog.
That's probably how he gets a lot of it. Never mind.
Hog-legging it out there, bro. Hog-legging it out there.
Hog-legging it
horrible.
Times are
horrible.
Tough. You gotta tell the artist, I'll suck your dick for art. It's just time to that.
That's horrible.
How many pages for a blowjob?
Jesus. Just terrible.
And once again, we are rated TVMA, DLSV, where the S stands for Star Wars.
How much?
The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
It depends.
That's not sexual at all.
It depends on what how good this is. I might be able to do a 2-page deal for you. Let's see what we got.
Okay, hold on. Has everyone watched The Rise of Skywalker?
I have not. I know what happened.
Oh, you know what happened?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay. For those who haven't heard, put your fingers in your. I have a question now. Is she gonna have sex with the ghost when that ghost comes to visit her with these new rules, when Ben comes to visit her now that he's dead? Do you think they're gonna go like a ghost thing in the next movie?
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
No, I don't.
comment.
Honestly, I think you're going to see all of the characters in the later trilogy quietly just disappear.
Suddenly, we'll not see any of them ever again.
You might see some movies way down the line with Old Lady Ray, but
Right.
and maybe with Poe and Finn, but no.
Rose, she fell off the ship.
They really need to do that Lando Calrissian streaming service show that they were talking about, where he runs around with the other girl that in the movie they were talking about. No, the girl that they met on the planet with the horses.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, she was the
gonna look
defective
into her
stormtrooper.
background.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be his kid in one of the drafts.
That's not surprising.
Because, same skin tone.
Yeah, so clearly that means
Nice.
they're related.
And clearly that meant they were related. Yeah.
Someone went, maybe we shouldn't do that.
Clearly, Finn is Mace Windu's son. Clearly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally.
It's actually his clone. But that's
there you go.
Nothing like Sam Jackson. Nothing like him.
They were all manufactured in test tubes, all the current run of New Order stormtroopers. That's a whole nother story. That's why they only have numbers.
Boo, Star Wars. Boo. I can't take it. I'm every time I look at my damn figures, I feel like it's like listening to like a mixtape from an ex-girlfriend or something.
Don't try to take it.
I'll just sit here and watch my original trilogy and be happy with myself.
Yeah. So guys, I guess we got to start wrapping it up. It's about we're reaching the 2-hour mark. We've all told everybody where we're from, but I need to remind these fine folks out there who are listening to get over to Indie Vote Radio, and they too can take part in the growing fan base that is Indie Vote Radio. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Indie Vote Radio. It is it's awesome. It's perfect companion to our official website, indievote.com. Indie Vote Radio plays the best in indie music, entertainment, news, and more 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can reach some talent like Park Squares and Alleys and Dims One. Download the Indie Vote Radio app on Android's Google Play Store or listen in with the streaming app on iOS. You can also check out the Indie Vote Radio by visiting our official site, indievote.com, and utilizing the built-in player right there on the front page.
And again, we want to thank everybody that's listening in on Indie Vote Radio today.
Final number was 9,051. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Thank you. Much appreciated.
And then, if you guys are bored, and I know you might be, and if you got VPN, it's really easy to do this. Go on over, download yourself Indie Vote TV on the Roku. Indie Vote TV is an over-the-top streaming service available on Roku and coming very, very soon to Amazon Fire Stick and more. Stream independent movies, music videos, wrestling, original documentaries, and more on Indie Vote TV. And did I mention that it's free? That's right, absolutely free. You can find Indie Vote TV by searching the channel store on your Roku device or Roku-enabled television. Me and Randy will be back here tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a regular episode of Indie Vault. It won't go off the rails because I won't be drinking.
Famous last words.
Oh, yeah. I won't be drinking.
Let's all be drinking. We're all shut in, so we're not. It's not like we have to drive home or nothing.
Yeah.
We can do it. We can do it. Either
And
that, or
maybe
we need some of the, the good recreational medicine.
And maybe tomorrow's show I'll wear pants because you guys don't know if I'm wearing pants or not either. So
that's a big mystery.
Maybe we don't want to know.
Yeah, you probably don't want to know. Thank you guys for being here with us. We will see you all Tuesday tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on Indie Vote, on our Facebook, on our YouTube, on Twitch. We'll be there. Just like that. We'll be there. Excited to see you.
Is that Tom Hanks in the prison camp?
Yeah, no, that's probably, yeah.
No, I don't think that's Tom Hanks.
Just whack. It's Tom Hanks.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah, it's him in Gitmo. They got him in Gitmo right now. Live footage. It's
live footage.
He's home. He made it. He made it home, all in one piece.
That's what they want you to believe, Randy. Come on, don't fall for the hype.
They replaced him with a clone.
Let's not forget.
The popcorn you're eating has been pissed in. Film at 11. No.
He's late.
Good night, everybody.